Hi, beauties. So, today I want to talk about boredom and how it's quite literally the silent destroyer of the productive woman's potential. I want to talk about this topic because it's really been on my mind. And if you want to exit your lazy girl era, overcoming boredom, I think, is one of the most important steps you can take in order to become more productive and successful. The meaning of boredom is the state of being weary and restless through lack of interest. On first thought, you may think that boredom is a normal, harmless emotion that everyone feels from time to time, which is true. Even the most productive people get bored sometime, but the action of giving into that weariness and that restlessness is really what I want to warn you from. And I believe it's so important because now that I'm in one of the most productive times in my life, I'm realizing that boredom definitely leads to feeling unmotivated, which will keep me in bed doing nothing all day if I let it. Not to get boredom confused with rest or rest days. I really can't stress this enough because rest is necessary when you're doing anything, whether it's working out, working in general, running a business, etc. Resting is the process of rebuilding things that you have taken the time to break down. Resting is the reward for discipline and hard work, and it is definitely not to be conflated or confused with boredom. This is particularly significant for productive women or women who aspire to be productive. In this video, we're going to be breaking down understanding boredom, the impact of boredom on productivity, boredom in the modern woman's life, the silent dangers of boredom, as well as identifying the root cause and strategies to combat boredom and creating a balanced routine. We will also discuss how you can leverage technology and tools around you, as well as just general discussion about how to inspire you to be more of a productive woman. If you would like to support this channel, don't forget to leave a like, comment, share, and make sure you're subscribed. You can also join the Beauty and Beyond Patreon as well as the Discord, which is completely free and gives you access to other women who encourage productivity as well as a healthy, beautiful lifestyle in general. So my next video is going to be about high-paying and low-stress feminine jobs for women. So definitely look out for that. I just thought that this would be a really great video to talk about before that one. So let's get into it. It's going to be a good one. So I really want us to understand boredom because I don't want people conflating it with other things that may be necessary in your everyday life. So there are psychological and emotional aspects of boredom. So boredom is one of those emotions that kind of come out of nowhere, like you might not even catch it. And sometimes though you can, and it's in those moments where you suddenly stop and you look around and you're like, I'm so bored. The questions that can come after that are like, what should I do? And if you can't really answer that question, you can quickly become pessimistic about your lifestyle choices and what you do with your time. Sometimes boredom comes when you're in the middle of doing something like your taxes or your homework or even your work at your job. And in those moments, you really have to make a decision about what you're going to do with your time and the attitude that you're going to have while you're doing it. The difference between healthy downtime and detrimental boredom is knowing that you need to take a break versus not knowing what to do with yourself at all. So you can tell this difference in your energy levels. If you're not feeling well or if you're feeling overly tired or worn out, you may not be as bored as much as you just need to reset. If you're feeling energetic and restless, but simultaneously feel you have nothing to do, that's boredom. It's also a lie because there's plenty to do, sis, plenty. It's just up to you whether you have enough personal motivation to start or to do the things that you want to do. Boredom can also affect your productivity. So some people even wake up bored, which I think is one of the worst things, because if you're not motivated enough to even get out of bed, this is a sign that boredom is like really overrunning the things you need to get done and just your life in general. When you have responsibilities that need to be taken care of, but you don't have the motivation to get up and do those things, this is how you know that boredom is overtaking your life. Boredom can come from many things, whether that's anxiety or being fearful of getting something started, depression, or you can even really become bored with your life after a breakup. Boredom can also come from scrolling on social media, eating unhealthy foods, seeing other people be productive with their lives, and comparing that to your own can manifest boredom. It just makes you think that you don't have the ability to do anything at all, which is completely false. Giving into boredom can even be the cause of depression. It can be the cause of your breakup. So not only can it be the effect, but like it can be the cause. And it can be the cause of mindlessly scrolling on social media. Boredom can lead to overeating. Like, when you get bored and you just go straight to the fridge, even though you're not hungry. So it's just overall overconsumption, oversleeping, procrastination, and it can also lead to a lack of confidence in yourself. Boredom is like the thief of joy. That's why phrases like watching paint dry or being on autopilot or going stir crazy, twiddling your thumbs, or being bored out of my mind, like it all just sounds really miserable. You want to be able to quickly replace boredom with something that will not only be beneficial to you, but that will also motivate you to do something else after you're finished or you get bored with doing that thing. One way that I found that really helps me is creating a schedule for myself. Even if I don't follow that schedule to a T, even if I don't look at that schedule for 2 weeks, whenever I get bored, I immediately go to that schedule and I have it broken down by time. So if I get bored around 6 o'clock, I'm going to that schedule and I'm going to see what I would quote unquote usually be doing around that time. So instead of a schedule, you can also make yourself a to-do list of just practical as well as productive things that you need to get done or that you should do. So write a practical list that mentions anything. So I'll give you some ideas. Like you can write a list saying, take a shower, condition your hair, do a lip scrub, do a foot mask, file your nails, journaling about your day, watching your favorite TV series, listening to a motivational podcast, reading one chapter of a book, cleaning your room, cleaning the kitchen, cleaning the bathroom, stretch, do yoga, do some floor Pilates, take a walk, go to the store with $10 and buy some fruit, practice a new language, draw something, paint something, bake a treat for yourself, call your nieces and nephews, spend time with your siblings, plan your next hairstyle, make a Pinterest board, rearrange your closet, rearrange your room or your furniture, make a green drink, listen to music and dance to your favorite song. This was literally stuff I just came up with at the top of my head. These are all practical things that you can do for free or with little to no money in order to combat your boredom. So your priority list can be, for example, like doing your homework, studying your field of career, designing your LinkedIn account, because so many will be surprised about how much they actually need a LinkedIn account just to kind of maintain your professional presence online. You could also build a free website for yourself that advertises your services, setting a doctor's or a dentist appointment for cleaning your teeth, applying for new jobs, which you should always be doing, revamping your resume. I literally did that the other day. Or I don't know, checking your blood sugar levels, because these are all important things that you absolutely need to get done, right? So this can be helpful because when boredom comes at you fast, and if you have something to reference as soon as it hits, you're able to fight back. Fight back, bestie. So boredom in the modern woman's life. This is so important because boredom can also come in the form of productivity, but you're still bored. Isn't that crazy? So I think this comes in the form of like societal expectations and pressures that are put on women. So as women, we have a lot of societal expectations and pressures that we're assumed to abide by. So some of us are expected to balance work life and family life at the same time, which leaves no room for ourselves. We're expected to break the glass ceiling at our jobs or manage emotional labor, like providing emotional support to friends and families and maintaining workplace harmony. When we give too much of ourselves, we can be caught up in the loophole of being on autopilot, which is literally just another fancy phrase for being bored. So, I want to explain to you some ways that you can combat this. It's almost like a forced boredom or like an adopted boredom. Almost, what do they call it? Like functional boredom. Literally, functional boredom. That's so crazy. But make a list of the things that matter to you and only to you the most. Start journaling about the next time you're going to set a clear boundary at work or in your relationship. You can also hire help. And this is my favorite one. I hate doing things that I don't really want to do, but I love being able to hire someone to do those things for me. I just need the funds to do so. So do me a favor and don't skip the next ad. But hiring people to cook, to clean, and to do stuff like your taxes, it's just more rewarding than not. I think like this is what money is for, people, to make your life easier. Like, what's the point of working so hard for your money if you're not going to put it to good use? I think this is what it means when people say make your money work for you, because even in that sense, it's like the same thing, putting your money to work so that your life can be easier, especially when your money creates more money. Yeah, that's really nice. Setting deadlines for yourself is also really good, but I know that some people are uncomfortable with deadlines. Like, I can be myself sometimes as well. So what I'll do instead of setting strict deadlines and creating cutoff times is defining the time frame in the amount of days I have to get things done rather than setting like a due date. So for example, instead of saying this thing has to be done by July 4th, I'll say I have 2 weeks to get this done. And I'll brainstorm how much time I will need to complete whatever it is. And during those 2 weeks, I know to make sure to spend that specific amount of time on whatever I have to get done. However, this is really why I never know what day it is. I literally just go by the clock. But sometimes accountability partners help as well. Doing activities with friends and setting up dates with friends to do things together definitely helps. There's just so many ways to combat boredom. It's just too many to name. Like, put in the comments below, what is the first thing that you do when you get that like instant feeling of boredom? And don't say get in the bed. So real life scenarios of productive women experiencing boredom, right? So boredom at work is the worst because it's very easy to get bored at work, even when you're working for yourself. This also goes for when you're doing something important like applying for your FAFSA, making cover letters, applying for jobs, or doing your taxes, like the most boring things. I think when you're doing any of these things, you need to prepare for your brain to get bored during this process. Like, you always have to have a backup plan for your boredom. Like, this is a strategy that can actually motivate you to get things done because you can look forward to doing something fun while doing whatever it is that's boring, whether you take a break in the middle or you kind of reward yourself at the end. So, for example, if you plan a break time, like I usually like to do things until I get super bored, and then I'll take a break. I'll watch some YouTube videos. I'll do something totally unrelated, like putting on a face mask or a hair mask, or even if I'm at work, I'll just pivot to doing something else for a short amount of time before getting back to my responsibilities. This is why knowing how to manage your time is also very, very important. I'm the type of person, I like to split up my tasks in time frames, especially if I don't go by a specific due date. Usually I'll give myself like a 3 to 4 hour window to do something that I know I can do in a day, unless it's something super tasking that needs a bit more time, like a couple of days to do. But that's why it's important to kind of just know your work ethic, know how you do things and how quickly you can get things done as well. So this next idea is kind of bad, but I do it again. I do it again anyway. So I used to work in data entry where it was mostly just typing out written documents, which I could do while listening to podcasts or YouTube videos. Like I would save a playlist of songs and podcasts on YouTube before going into work, and I would literally like wear a wig that covered my ears so that if I had earbuds in, no one could see. And this was like an 8-hour job of just endless typing. But I swear to you, I got through it so fast because I was always listening to something in my ears. Like, why should we as humans be subjected to slaving away without proper entertainment? I don't know, but I'm not doing it. So this also is relevant to the way that boredom shows in your work. So boredom causes you to be frustrated and angry, especially if you hate what you do. Like if you don't find ways to relieve your boredom, especially in the workplace, it's going to show in your performance. So you need to come up and brainstorm some creative ways to not bore yourself at work, whatever that may be. Boredom in relationships is a big thing as well. That's why spicing up your love life or even your friendships is so important, because things can definitely start to feel stagnant and like nothing is going anywhere. You'll feel like certain people are a waste of time, especially if you're the type of person that becomes bored really easily, which is not really fair to the other person. So try not to do super repetitive things with your friends and family and significant others, because you don't want to start projecting those feelings onto them. Ultimately, if you're the one feeling bored, you need to work that out. And if the other person isn't willing to kind of comply, that's when you can be open and honest about how you feel. And depending on how they take it, you can go from there. But if you don't start taking charge of your life and you continue to let boredom run you, it's just so easy to get lost in mindless video games and movies and TV shows, like especially if you're not getting paid to do those things. Like I also mentioned earlier, overeating, which is basically like self-sabotage. You can also lapse into feeling like you need to smoke or drink because boredom actually triggers those emotions. Also, like feeling like you need to text your ex or getting on dating apps. It's like you need that instant gratification so that you don't feel bored anymore. This is literally what boredom does to you. It's boredom wants you to feed it. And you can either feed it good things and relinquish it, or feed it bad things that you ultimately have to commit to or do over and over and over again, because, that's how addiction is adopted. When you do things that give you instant gratification, you get a hit of dopamine and then you're bored again. It really is not worth it. So look out for boredom in the lack of challenge in your life or variety in the tasks that you do on a daily basis. You want to be spontaneous. You want to be confident in doing things you're not used to doing. And you want variety in your life so you don't tire yourself out doing the same things every single day. If your routine is overwhelmingly predictable, you could be on autopilot, boring yourself out and boring others around you. This can also affect your work-life balance, like I mentioned earlier. I'm the type of person, I don't like to get bored, especially these days. Like school has really set the precedent for my productivity, and now I have expectations for myself, and I keep myself accountable for my mental health, my physical health, and the relationships that I have around me. Not giving into boredom also allows me to set standards and boundaries for myself. Like now I know what I don't want to settle for. So taking on new projects and responsibilities is really great. For me, my YouTube channel and you all encouraging me to make more videos, and even to the haters who encourage me to make more videos, it's what keeps me going, especially because my program in school doesn't have summer classes, and I started this YouTube channel towards the end of my last semester, which was literally crazy because I had finals and projects to do, and I remember just being like, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel literally randomly. And I had like 5 subscribers, and this was like, 2 months ago. And I was in class uploading a video to YouTube, and my classmate is like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm just uploading a YouTube video. And they're like, oh, and I'm like, yeah. Little did I know I was gonna be here with 5K subscribers. We actually just hit that, I think not last month, excuse me. We actually hit that last night. I'm so grateful, y'all. So, but regardless, I still finished with a 3.3 GPA, which I'm super proud of. But I knew I needed something to keep me accountable and productive during the summer. So I'm really, really grateful that I have this in my life now. And it's really been a push and pull when it comes to like making videos that I think are important and videos that actually interest me. Volunteering is also a really good habit to take up, especially if you have the time and the energy for it. Make sure not to overload your plate though, because that can be pretty bad and discouraging if you can't live up to certain things that you agreed to. But things like learning new skills or hobbies, especially if you don't have much going on already, is just really helpful. You can also practice mindfulness and mental wellness practices when you're bored. So meditation, journaling, and just taking regular breaks during your everyday tasks. Making sure you're hydrated and well fed is super important while you're getting things done, because sometimes you'll feel bored, but it's not really boredom. It's like you haven't drank water in like 5 hours. Why did I say it like that? But like, seriously, you can also get into networking and community engagement. Volunteering for me is like the best way to meet people these days, I believe. And it's just like you connect with like-minded individuals and you help people and you learn more about yourself. You can also attend like workshops and events, even alone. And it might seem a little scary, but don't go in with any expectations. At least that's what I'm doing. I think it makes it more exciting that way. But overall, creating a balanced routine is super, super, super important. You have to maintain a work-life balance and harmony, but you also have to learn how to put yourself first in a way that isn't self-sabotage or hurting the other people around you. Just remember that it's not really beneficial to be a people pleaser because people are never pleased anyway. So scheduling leisure and creative activities, especially for yourself and by yourself, is super important. Even when you're in a relationship, you want to show your partner that you prioritize yourself and you love yourself. And sometimes you need to do things without them. This also goes for friends and family, especially if you're constantly surrounded by them on a daily basis. Regular physical exercise definitely helps as well. It just gives you energy and a new outlook on life. You learn new things about your body every single day as well, which is all productivity. It's just awesome. And it really has been like really awesome for me too as well. So you can also leverage productivity apps and tools like the health app on your phone. You can learn a new language by using apps like Duolingo. You can use the Notes app on your phone to journal or to express your emotions or to type out that text that you want to send your ex and then never send it. Like, that's what the Notes app is for. Didn't you know? Anyway, you can take online courses on LinkedIn or Skillshare, and no, I wish this was sponsored. It's not for skill development, but there's always free trials and you don't have to do anything specifically towards your career. You can do things for yourself like maybe social media management or even PR training classes and just apply those skills to your everyday life. It doesn't have to be so career goals focused. It can literally just be like giving yourself knowledge so that you have more to talk about, or, you know, you just up your privileges a little bit because of the knowledge that you have. It's also important to take a digital detox and manage your screen time. I think we're really moving into a time where being authentic and disconnecting is so important. Like, these dating apps are dying, honey. And if you can't focus on a page in a book for more than 2 minutes, you need to practice reading more or just get a better book. If you don't attract people when you're out in real life, you need to take up volunteering, or you need to smile more or something. You need to figure it out. You know, the things that you search on YouTube, even like, there are books for that. The genre of TV that you like to watch, there are books for that. You need to start exploring more and stop limiting yourself. But that's all I have for you today. I really hope that this has opened your eyes a little bit to your daily routine or how often you actually feel bored. I think you'll start to notice it now, especially when you have energy to do things, but you don't know what to do. I really hope that this video helped you see that there is plenty to do. Okay, so besides that, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. It's Friday where I am now. It's almost 10 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.